My friends, China's war machine has a catastrophic flaw. Beijing's new billion-dollar aircraft carriers are hiding a humiliating secret. They have never launched a single fighter jet under enemy fire. Zero combat experience. And what I'm about to reveal to you now proves that the Asian superpower may be nothing more than a paper tiger, about to collapse at the first confrontation with the United States and its allies. But first, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the video. Now look at how big this illusion is. In the last 15 years, the Chinese People's Liberation Army Navy has poured mountains of money into building an aircraft carrier fleet. They want to project power. Yes, they want to become the world's leading power ahead of the United States. They want to dominate the Indo-Pacific. They want to look the United States in the eye as equals. But reports have come out showing a brutal strategic vulnerability, a fatal flaw. Despite all the technology, all the forged steel, and all the state propaganda, China has never launched a single fighter jet under enemy fire. Never. Zero experience in real combat. And in modern warfare, my friends, the difference between training theory and the chaos of battle is exactly where empires crumble. For you to understand how big this illusion is, we need to look at what China actually has in its hands today. They have 3 operational aircraft carriers. The first is the Liaoning. It's not a marvel of Chinese engineering. It's actually a converted ex-Soviet hull that China bought and basically used as a training ship. It was the first step, the first attempt to understand how carrier-based aviation works. Then came the Shandong. This one, yes, was the first aircraft carrier built entirely in China. An important step for their military industry, but both the Liaoning and the Shandong operate with the old limiting system, known as Stobar. It's that famous ski jump ramp at the tip of the ship, and this is where the problem starts to get serious. When you use a ski jump ramp to take off, you can't launch a heavy plane. Physics doesn't allow it. That means the main fighter jet of the Chinese Navy, the J-15 nicknamed the Flying Shark, has to take off almost empty. The J-15 is a heavy aircraft derived from the old Russian Su-33. To be able to leave the aircraft carrier's ramp without falling into the sea, the Chinese are forced to drastically limit the amount of fuel and the load of missiles and bombs that the fighter carries. Just look how bad the situation is. You have an attack fighter that can't carry its full combat load. Besides that, the J-15 suffers from chronic problems and has a very high accident rate. In a real war scenario, a fighter that takes off with little fuel and little ammunition has a short range and reduced effectiveness. It's a no-win trade-off. Either you fly far or you hit hard. You can't do both. But there's a detail. China knows this. And they're trying to take a leap in the dark to solve this problem. Their third and newest aircraft carrier is formidable. Yes. The Fujian is the crown jewel. It abandoned the old ski jump ramp and adopted the catabar system. More specifically, electromagnetic catapults, the IMLS system. Exactly the same cutting-edge technology used on the most modern American Ford-class aircraft carriers. With electromagnetic catapults, China can finally launch heavy aircraft, fully fueled and armed nowadays. They are also developing a new stealth fighter, the J-35, designed to go head-to-head with the American F-35. The promise is enhanced stealth, sensor fusion, and long-range strike capability. On paper, it's scary. This is where it gets worse for China. China has never operated a large-scale catapult system in its history. The Fujian's electromagnetic system is incredibly complex, sensitive, and requires maintenance. The Americans took years and spent billions to get their own electromagnetic system working properly, and they have decades of experience with steam catapults. The Chinese are going straight from a ski jump ramp to electromagnetic technology without any prior experience. It's like handing a Formula 1 car to someone who's only ever driven go-karts and telling them to race in the rain. But there's something very important. An aircraft carrier doesn't operate alone. It's the center of a complex ecosystem. The United States Navy dominates the seas not just because it has good fighter jets, but because it has a formidable support network. early warning aircraft, which work as flying radars, and aerial refueling planes, which multiply the range of the fighters. And what about China? China has a huge operational gap. Their support fleet is still immature. They are trying to develop the KJ-600 and early warning aircraft to try to see beyond the horizon. But so far, they don't have a mature and proven carrier-based aerial refueling capability. And that changes everything. Without efficient aerial refueling, the situational awareness of the Chinese fleet is limited. The range of their fighters is restricted. In a vast and geographically dispersed region like the Indo-Pacific, not having long legs and not having eyes in the sky is a strategic death sentence. They may have the newest ship in the world, but the network that makes the ship lethal is still in its infancy. That brings us to the ultimate fatal flaw. China conducts grand military exercises. They put their ships out to sea, record cinematic videos, and show the world a perfectly choreographed display. But exercises are not combat. War does not respect scripts. Real combat involves heavy electronic warfare, friction, equipment failures, communications being cut, absolute chaos, and an enemy that doesn't act as planned. And there's one more thing. People fail. Yes, and people are still waging the war. Pilots, operators, sailors. All of that is factored into the equation. And these experiences, my friends, are forged in blood and cannot be simulated on a computer or in controlled training. The United States Navy has decades of continuous combat experience. They tend to operate aircraft carriers under enemy fire, losing men and machines, adjusting tactics in the midst of the storm. China hasn't done any of that yet. The capabilities of the People's Liberation Army Navy exist only on paper. What works on paper often falls apart on first contact with the enemy. If carrier-based aviation is an art that is learned not only by training but by fighting, then the gap between the real capability of the United States and China's ambition is an abyss. The Chinese system is investing billions to project an image of invincibility. But the truth is that Beijing's aircraft carriers have not yet been tested in the only court that really matters: the battlefield. This isn't a technical detail. This is a break in the global power narrative. Pay attention. Those who don't see this vulnerability now will be caught off guard when the first shot is fired. And today you must have seen a lot of people on the internet saying that the United States is done, that Iran is destroying military might, that Iran is superior to the United States. Imagine when the United States goes to war with China. Guys, pay close attention. Comment. Do you think the American Navy is superior to the Chinese Navy technically, militarily, geographically? Comment. My friends, while the mainstream media tries to distract you with empty narratives, the real power game is happening in the shadows. And pay attention to this. Everything we're experiencing today on the global stage has already been scripted and rubbed in our faces by pop culture. On our new channel about TV series and movies, we show you how fiction predicted reality. The link will appear on the card right now. Click, subscribe, and broaden your perspective. I'm Shimon Oliveira. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and leave a like on the video. See you on the other side.